Welcome to another edition of Entrepreneurs and Fuego. We are here with Denise Meredith. By the way, Denise, this is the show where our guests get naked. Did you know that?
Ah, you didn't tell me that ahead
Well,
of time.
you don't read your release. That's what make it emotionally. There you go. Which we're going to try to.
I can do that.
I know you can.
I can do that.
You are with linking sports and communities, and this is what's interesting. It doesn't happen by design sometimes, but it just happens by coincidences. I think what is linking today's shows, or the leitmotif for today's guests, is communities and linking communities and the arts and communities and the sports and communities as you do. And tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Okay, thank you. I'm born in Brooklyn, grew up in Queens, New York, and but I've lived all over the country since that time.
Because you don't have the Brooklyn accent.
No, I left when I was 17, so I sort of lost it. My sister, who stayed there, you could cut it with a knife, as we say in Brooklyn. But anyway, I went to Cornell University, and I started out in a very different field. I was in natural resource management. So I worked for the Bureau of Land Management for 29 years.
The Bureau of
Land Management.
And what do you do there?
It's the largest land management agency. So everything that's not a national park and a national forest is BLM, pretty much. So it's open spaces, we have campgrounds, RV parks.
And you were there for 29 years?
Yep, all over the country, all over the country. So the height, I was the first woman I ever hired also, so that was pretty interesting.
Wow.
Because it was mainly cowboys, ranching people,
sure,
miners, the outdoorsy folks.
How was that reaction? How was that the first day at work?
Actually better than expected, because my first job was in Las Vegas. So they were a little bit...
If I may ask, doing what precisely?
Wildlife.
Oh, okay.
I was the wildlife biologist in a wildlife town. So.
You're mixing a lot of words, that wild and Vegas, and
right.
I don't know, maybe
great.
Maybe you're trying to send us a message or something.
Well, I was 21, to be 21 in Vegas.
Wild in Vegas.
Oh, I was great. So I had a great time. It was a lot of fun, but the wildlife is very different from the New York wildlife. So I used to work with Canadian geese and white-tailed deer, and I went down to the desert, and it's pupfish and desert tortoise and cacti. So I had to learn a lot.
So let's fast forward. So it's 29 years, and so what do you do next?
Okay, I retired early. Anytime government says you can go early, I did. So I was head of BLM here in Arizona for 7 years. So I was the Condor release in Arizona, that was on my watch. All the national monuments, I designated it on my watch.
Man. Wow.
So I had a nice 7 years here. But when I retired early, then I went really back to my roots. Was more public relations is what I like to do. But kids has always been part of what I do. I started a lot of different kids organizations. So here, when I got here, I'm a big sports fan. New York sports is everything, right? And so I got here, and it was great because I had all the sports, but nobody gave a damn. So I thought, well, this is really sort of different. So I sort of made it my personal mission to get people to care about sports here. And it was sort of mutual. The sports teams didn't act like they cared that much about the fan base either at that time. So
what do you mean exactly by not caring about the fan base? Because from somebody that is standing outside the world that you live in, you would think that they throw all this money in advertising, we care, and you see all the sappy commercials and everything. But
that's what it is.
but that's not what you're talking about, right? I mean, there's something else.
Yeah,
I
want in-depth involvement with the community. It's easy to write a check.
Right.
People write that all the time, and a lot of them, they have a set time of year. They write all their checks out, and that's it.
They check the box.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, and they're not knocking, not trying to say New York is great or anything, but the athletes are out and about. You will see them at the hospitals, you will see them at the different places. Here, when Jerry Colangelo was around, he made it almost a requirement for them to be out and about. So we had, so he did it. But since that time, times have changed and attitudes have changed with the younger players. They don't really, see why they need to be giving back and things like that.
Why is that?
I think it depends on the sport. When you think about basketball, they jerk them like out of high school. So they really don't have time to mature, socialize. Whereas versus something like baseball, they have the minor leagues, so they have to grow up. And they have to, in minor leagues, you're with the fans a lot. The fans are up and close and personal in the minor leagues. So they got a different on.
Do you think, though, Denise, that is part also from their upbringing as well, because you know, if your parents are telling you, look, you've got a great gift, you're very fortunate to play first base or whatnot, you have this incredible talents, you must at some point give back and be thankful for those gifts.
And you know, parenting isn't what it used to be either here, so I think that's a lot of it. So there are a lot of different factors that go into it. So what we do, go ahead.
And before you say that, so in your own upbringing, then what I am assuming, and tell me if I am wrong, but your own parents were incredibly influential for the way that you do your business today and how you think today. Then.
And I tell people all the time, your first mentors are your parents, so you learn a lot from them. But my dad was pretty much a Renaissance man. He did things African Americans weren't supposed to do at that time. He played amateur tennis. He was a musician in the big bands. He was a carpenter. He just did a lot of different things.
I knew there was some artistic side there somewhere, but I just didn't know where
he
it
was. A photographer, professional photographer along with that. So I think I got a little creative stuff from him, but my mother was the community organizer. She was like head of the PTA or, you know, leader in the church. And, you know, so
that's great influence on you.
Yeah, so between those two, people say I get my travel lust from my dad, wanderlust, because in BLM I worked in like 6 different states and the District of Columbia twice, so I kept moving. And with her, it was that giving back, that you're here, you have a mission to give back to people. So that really makes an impression on you.
So with your organization now, what is exactly that you're trying to accomplish?
So what we do now, one thing I found here, because the teams didn't get along that well, but the only thing that you can get them to agree on is kids. The kids are important. So what Linking Sports and Communities does, it encourages student athletes 12 to 18 years old to stay in school, lead healthy lifestyles, and be financially responsible. So we try
How do you do that?
We try to get them early on. We have workshops, we have mentorship opportunities, programs. I also try to reward athletes who are doing the right thing. Because you really don't get too much recognition off the field. If you're good on the field, that's what people notice. So we try to, so it's coming up on November 4th, Community Leadership Awards. We give awards every year to professional athletes, individual sports organizations, and students who are making a big contribution to their community.
So, and who's going to get this award?
We have a whole list, but as far as professional athletes, this year it's Mike Stone from the Coyotes.
Oh, really?
We'll be getting it, yeah.
Is he a good guy?
Yeah, he's very good.
I know nothing about
him and his wife. You don't know hockey? But
Look, I like sports. I mean, I play sports, but hockey's not one of my things.
Oh, not one of your things. We have to get you out to the game, then.
Hey, I'm going to hold you to it. I'm going to hold you to it.
Yeah, because we take people, because most people haven't been to a hockey game. So most people have never even seen a hockey game. So we drag them out there to Glendale. But once they see it, they're hooked. Yeah, because on TV it's horrible. You really can't see what's going on.
Right.
There in person, it's a lot of action.
They're fast.
And a lot of fights, and people like that stuff. So they get hooked on that. But we're excited. And then Robert Smith this year is getting a Lifetime Achievement Award. We don't give those every year. Like Jerry Colangelo has gotten it. Tom Ambrose, who was with the Suns, has gotten it. He's a high school coach. 43 years he's been a coach. Wow. So we thought that's a pretty good lifetime achievement to be a mentor and coach. So he's going to get our Lifetime Achievement Award this year. So
you're the one that spearheaded and started this.
Yeah,
this
2004. Movement. Yeah.
So this is for me the question. I mean, what motivates you specifically to start this particular movement? Because it is a movement.
Yeah,
if I may call it that, because this transcends your personal, and also is beyond Phoenix. I mean, this is throughout the United States.
Yeah, because ours is going to be a model that we plan probably to take to other cities. Too,
correct. So you scale this right. And so what motivates?
What drives me? Always kids. You know, people say you don't have any. I don't need any.
So you got hundreds out there.
Yes, I have all these kids programs that I do. I really enjoy. But I think. And I think a lot of people don't get the relationship that sports, the influence it can have. Philanthropy-wise, sports can play a lot bigger role than they're playing, but it's important. And what I really want is the athletes to be a part of the community and not just playing the game, but to have businesses here, to hire people here, to mentor kids here. So that's really my aim, is to really, I'm all about Phoenix. I'm one of the best promoters for the city of Phoenix, or
Sure.
for the Valley in general. So the more we can get athletes and sports organizations embedded really in the community and a part of it day to day, not just writing a check once a year, but the day-to-day stuff, the quality of life here would improve tremendously. There are supposedly 500 professional athletes here in the Valley, living here.
Oh, really?
Okay. And we need to see them. We need to get them involved.
Where are they?
We need to get them
at the clubs.
I don't even think that, but I don't know too many people that see them at the clubs either. So I think they're out by the pool. But and like I said, with our awards, we tell people about, because it's a nomination process.
Sure.
So, but a lot of people, can you nominate an athlete that's doing something for you or your organization? And you get the blank stares. So we want less blank stares. And there are athletes that are doing things. So we want to get a spotlight shown on those guys and ladies.
Who are your partners? Is the government also your partner in this?
They've been sort of out of, since the recession, the government has sort of been out of missing in action.
You're doing so much for Phoenix.
Yeah.
My impression would be, heck, the city governments, at least at that level, municipal government, they should get involved because it can only benefit them if they have any type of publicity, right? I mean, it's all about a community.
Yeah, and they were heavily involved until the recession, and then they had their money problems.
Right.
But and personnel, a lot of people have been let go, so they don't have a lot of people. But City of Phoenix just contacted me. They want to get back in there, get involved.
There you go.
So and City of Mesa, so we're City of Phoenix and Avondale. Actually has been probably our most active most active organization, because we do a lot with NASCAR, PIR. So City of Avondale's always sort of been there for us. So I think it's important, because you have city parks, that's a big part of it.
Sure.
The kids, and we try to solicit or recruit kids from the city parks departments to be involved in and we had, I think, a breakthrough back when you talk about the cities. We had a conference a couple of months ago at ASU on ethics in sports, and that was probably the best turnout I've seen of local government people.
So you think that the tide is changing a little bit, and the
definitely.
attitudes are changing?
Yeah.
Maybe the funding is changing.
The funding is changing. They're getting a little bit more secure.
Yeah. All right.
Phoenix is back. The cities are getting back. Chandler is a prime example, not so much of the city itself, but the environment. We're going to do Youth Sports Day in Chandler this year, and we did it there last year as well. And ICANN is the name of an after school program there. It's a big complex on Morella Street, and so we're going to sort of take our program to that facility. 300 kids.
Oh, nice, nice.
And we're going to have workshops. We're going to have sports clinics with all the different sports they'll be able to try out. And it's going to be Trey Woods is going to be coming. He's a young man who's top of the game is in extreme sports.
Sure.
And he's the youngest champion, and so he's going to come and talk to the kids.
That's cool.
So that's going to be a lot. Cameron Colvin, I should mention him. We have athletes that have been with us forever. Cameron Colvin, he used to play for the 49ers, and he has a son. He's a very successful businessman here in town, so he's involved a lot with us. Eddie Johnson is one of our favorites. Eddie has been with us sort of since the beginning. So we've had we've had athletes that have been with us, but we want more. So,
that's to one of my last questions. If you had a magic wand, all right, this is your opportunity, and you wanted it, something so badly for your organization or for yourself, what would that be? I would think for people to be all in, whether it's the city, whether it's the sponsors, whether it's the athletes. And our website is www.linkingsports.org. People can go to that site, see all the photographs of all the involvement. But it's that commitment. And it's, the commitment is not to us as an organization. We're an association of associations. So we have a lot of nonprofits and different groups in our group. But it would be that commitment to making sports relevant to everybody. Which is what you're doing. You're bringing sports and linking sports with the community. And that's our goal. And we've been at it for 12 years now. So, and I think it's made a difference. The teams are... Cardinals are a lot more visible and involved these days. What is your biggest accomplishment so far? I would say, it sounds strange, but that ethics workshop. Ethics is just
so much of the problem these days.
Did you see that fly in?
He
just
did
now?
that, yes.
Did you see that fly in?
God, that's pretty amazing.
See, things
It's magic, magic.
It's magic.
It's magic.
Look, I am incredibly proud to have you as a guest today because
Glad to be here.
to be honest with you, I never knew the power of your organization and what you're doing, and I think that linking, which is in your name, linking the sports to the community and getting those athletes more involved and kind of maybe forcing them a little bit to give back, I think is really important.
Oh, thank you.
And for our guests,
Oh, look at that.
look at this. Let me put a little bit. We're going to give you a nice little T-shirt from the
very
office
nice.
pile.
I appreciate
You
that.
see?
That's beautiful.
Oh yes, of course it's beautiful. All this art, man. All this art is created by local artists and everything else, and this is for you.
Oh, thank you so
Denise,
much.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're going to come back again.
Oh,
You're going to have to
definitely.
bring some of these athletes because
I will.
I have 1,000 questions for these guys,
Okay.
particularly the ones that don't get too involved.
Okay, we'll get them out here.
Sounds good.
Thanks so much.
We're out.
Take care.